So we're going to change around a little bit of this. That's okay.
As long as we stay within the vicinity,
Yeah.
we're fine. Because otherwise the camera shots go off.
And I look to see that if I turn this around, if you would still.
They can see us.
Yes, yes. So I was. Okay.
And they'll still see the profile.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Yoga Express. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. My name is Banu. I'm your host for this program. Thanks to our amazing crew who did such an amazing job last time. I just had to call them back. So I need to give a shout out our director Antonio Camacho, Lizette Perez on the switch, Nicole Ereses was assisting the team, and Miguel Mercado on the robotic cameras, on both all the camera shots, all those great shots by Miguel. Thank you so much. Great work, team. I really enjoyed working with you last time. We also had a great time. I especially enjoyed right here. I enjoyed stretching with Susan McNamara. Susan teaches, actually I'm going to let Susan talk a little more about herself, but she does teach gentle yoga. And when she says gentle, it really was beautiful and gentle. I enjoyed it so much, Susan. Last week when we got together, you took us through some very simple stretches, but I immediately recognized the postures, the traditional postures. Didn't even realize you could do them sitting in a chair.
Exactly.
So tell our viewers a little more about why it's important to stretch, or whatever your perspective is, and what people think yoga might be.
Well, that's what I think, that a lot of people are not sure what yoga is, and so they get a little discouraged and
Right.
they don't start. And this is a nice, simple way to start, to slow it down. And I have seniors in my class, but I also have some young people that slow it down. You know, they
That's
go
right.
so fast and they do so much aggressive exercise that they really enjoy just taking it one step down.
Taking a
And we
break.
do it on the mat, we do it on a chair. Today is a chair. And I found it amazing how many things I can take and find a way to do that in a chair.
You did a great job.
If you're sitting on a bus.
Right. Yeah, all of a sudden just go stretching on
Just-
the bus.
yeah.
No one's going to mind if it's not too
Not in New York.
crowded. But Susan, tell me something. Do you teach in a particular school somewhere? Do you have a studio somewhere? Where do you teach?
So I teach at the Parks Department right next door. I
Right.
teach on Monday morning at 10 o'clock, and it's for members.
Right.
And I'm teaching now in my building at the Lincoln Outreach Center. I teach a chair yoga class from 11 to 12 on Tuesdays, and we may be adding a second class.
Very nice.
Yes.
Folks, if you want to reach out to Susan, her credits will come up every now and then. Our crew is going to put that up. Get in touch, Sumac Yoga.
SumacYoga.com. Well, Susan at SumacYoga.com is my
Right.
email. www.SumacYogaNYC, because there's so many of us.com.
It's surprising. I wouldn't have thought, you know, it actually makes me spook out when I think, oh, somebody else has my name, Banu Suresh. Like, oh, I'm the only one who can have that name.
There's a lot
So
of
much for
Susan
the ego,
McNamara, so I
right?
know.
Susan, what do you have for me? I'm ready for any adventure. I just love to know, but it's great.
Okay, so ready to start?
Yes.
So we'll first come into our seated position, having your knees over your ankles, feet parallel to each other, and sitting on our sitting bones. You know, so much we sit on our back of our hamstrings, or we sit
Right.
on our glutes, and sitting on our sitting bones, you can actually feel them if you'd like to, and sitting up tall, bringing the belly in towards the spine, reaching the ribs up away from the pelvis, and then relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears, while the crown of the head is up towards the ceiling. So it's very similar to mountain pose, Tadasana, although we're sitting in a chair. So this is how we start every class, and then we bring our arms out to our side with the palms reaching up, inhaling and reaching up, moving slowly, and exhaling down. And the reason we move so slowly is that there may be a place that you should not go any further. And we need to honor our bodies. So this might be as far as you go. Wherever you are today is perfectly fine. And then exhaling down. And then we'll just do this 2 more times with a twist. So the next time we'll twist to our right, reaching our arms up. And then exhaling to the right, bringing our arms behind and in front, but keeping the knees to the front of the room. And then inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling over to the other side, keeping the knees in front, relaxing the shoulders, and then inhaling up and exhaling back down. So we're going to use our straps, taking your strap and sitting. I suggest that you sit at the edge of your seat. And, for some folks you may need a block underneath your feet if your feet are not touching the floor. But if you're sitting on the edge, you should be okay. So reaching our heel towards the front of the room, keeping our arms straight, and pulling the belt so that your foot is coming, your toes are up towards the ceiling, and feeling that throughout your entire leg. Inhaling and exhaling, and then taking that belt into your right hand as you reach your right leg out to the right and reach your left arm out to the left, sitting up tall, bringing the bellies to the spine and letting your head roll, looking over your left arm and breathing. And your leg doesn't need to go very far. Keeping the toes up towards the ceiling. You can check and see that it's so. Sometimes you might think it is. And then slowly bringing that leg back to center, grabbing on with your other arm, your left arm, and bringing it slightly over the other leg. It's not going to go very far. And then reaching the right arm out and looking over the right arm. And here you may want to reach your leg up a little bit, feeling that in your hip, and you're in control of how much stretch you want here. Breathing, and then slowly coming back to center and grabbing on to the belt with both hands once again on each side, and inhaling, reaching the heel towards the front of the room. And then exhale, bringing the knee in towards your armpit. And then inhaling out, keeping the bellies in towards the spine, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. It's funny how we concentrate on one part of the body and then we let another part go. And then one more time, stretching, bringing the knee in towards the spine. Towards the armpit, and then reaching out, and then bending the knee and removing the belt. And feeling that in that leg, we'll bend the other knee.
I feel like my right leg has grown a little longer.
Yes, so then we'll make this one the same size. So we'll reach out, reaching the heel towards the front of the room, pulling the top of your foot back so your toes are facing the ceiling, breathing, and the right foot is still pressing down into the floor. And now grabbing that with your left hand and letting your leg go out to the left as your arm goes out to the right, looking over your right arm. And it may feel very different on one side than it does the other. And it's something for you to observe, nothing that you need to do. And then slowly coming back to center. And then taking the belt with the other hand, bringing it over your leg. It's not going to go very far. Feeling that in your hip, letting your arm go out, looking over your arm, keeping the bellies in towards the spine, keeping the shoulders away from your ears, and then bringing that leg back to center. I felt that a lot more on that side. And then grabbing with both hands, inhaling, reaching the heel out, exhaling, bringing the knee in towards the armpit, and inhaling, reaching out, and exhaling in towards the armpit, and one more time, inhaling out, and exhaling in. And then we can bend the leg and take the belt off. And if you hold on to the belt for one moment, we'll reach the belt up over our heads, reaching up, reaching, and bringing your arms back a little bit behind you. Inhaling here, and then slowly exhaling, coming down in front. And then inhaling, very slowly going back behind. And if it's possible, you can go a little bit behind you, if that's okay for your shoulders. If not, and we'll just do that one more time. One of my instructors calls this shoulder flossing.
That's a nice name.
And you do feel that in your shoulders, especially coming back here. Nice stretch. And then slowly bringing the belt down. Whoops. And then removing the belt to the side. And so we're going to come into chair pose, but we'll do this 5 times. The first 2 times, inhaling and reaching our arms up, we're not coming off the chair. Just reaching our arms up as if we were coming off, but staying on the sitting bones. And then reaching the arms down. You know, before we go any further, let's bring our heels even closer to, as close as we can, into the chair. Before we go one more time, lift up your toes. It's a little difficult lifting the toes from this position and then coming on to the toes. And then lifting the toes, feeling that in the calf muscles, and then coming on to the toes, and then bringing that down. So now we'll do another chair pose, reaching up, inhaling, but not coming off the chair. Bringing the arms up by the ears, looking straight ahead, but relaxing the shoulders down as much as you can in this pose, and then bringing your arms down. So the next 2 times, we're going to take our buttocks off the chair about an inch. And just over here for a moment, inhaling, and then exhaling down. And this is so important because so many times we use our hands to get in and out of a chair.
Right.
So one more time, inhaling and just reaching about an inch off the chair, and then exhaling down. And then the next time, coming up to a standing position, nice and slow, inhaling, reaching up, inhaling, and then exhaling. So we'll come behind the chair now so we can use the chair for support. Standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. So we'll bring our feet together. You can have a little inch between, that's perfectly fine. Whatever good for your stability. And this is the most important pose of any yoga pose. This is the blueprint of yoga pose. So whether you're on your hands, on your on your head, on the side, on your belly, on your back. This is what you want. So you lift up your toes and your heels. You can hold on to the chair with one hand or two hands, or try no hands, knowing that chair is there. Lifting your toes and your heels, finding your balance. And then we can come down to all four corners, the big toe, the little toe, and the heels inside and outside of the foot, putting the same amount of pressure. And then lift the toes and feel the inner arch lifted in your foot. And then leave that inner arch, but bring the toes down. And lift up the ankles, the knees. Draw the buttocks down to the heels. And by doing that, you feel that lengthening in your belly. Bring the belly in towards the spine. Lift the ribs up away from the pelvis. And now shrug your shoulders, bringing them up to the ears and around. This is my favorite. And this is something you can do online at Trader Joe.
Well, it's standing at the cash counter in line. Yeah.
And then go in the opposite direction. And then one more time, bringing the shoulders up and drawing them back in towards your spine. Looking straight ahead with the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And this is Tadasana. You can bring your palms out to the side and open your palms up to the ceiling, inhaling and reaching up. Reach, reach, reach. Bringing the inner upper arms in towards your ears as if you were hiding your armpits from your neighbor. And then exhaling down. And then we'll do that 2 more times with a twist. So we'll inhale, reaching up, looking up with our peripheral vision. And on the exhale, bend the knees and turn to our right, reaching the arms away from each other. And then inhale, reaching up. And exhale to the other side, reaching the arms away. And then inhale up. And we bring our arms down by our side. So we're going to bring the chair around so that we're facing it this way. And come into a down dog by bringing our hands on the chair. Oh, okay, good. And we'll walk back. That should be okay. And you can go back as far as is good for you. And you can start in one place and bring your head down between your arms as if you were in a down dog. Reaching, stretching the spine. And this should feel good. And if it doesn't, of course, you back off. Pressing down into your feet. You can create a wide dog, lengthening your legs wider if that feels better for you. And I always suggest you try both and see what feels best. And you can bend one knee and the other, walking your dog. And then straighten your legs. And now you have the option of staying here in down dog, or you can bring yourself forward, coming into an upward dog. And reaching up, breathing, coming onto your toes, keeping the shoulders away from your ears. And then slowly coming back into a downward dog. Reaching your buttocks back, 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 back. Feeling that in the back of your legs, in your spine. And then inhaling once again, coming in to a forward bend, keeping your arms straight, looking up. You can smile in this pose. Everyone always gets so serious sometimes in these poses, and then coming back into downward dog, including myself. And staying here for a few breaths. And then slowly bending your knees and walking back towards your chair. And bringing your hands onto your hips and slowly coming back into a standing position. And now we'll bring the chair back around like we did before. And we'll do a balancing. So this will turn towards each other, or we can both go the same direction. And what we're going to do is bring our right foot.
I think I'll turn towards you,
Okay.
I can't see.
Bring our right foot and do this without looking. And this is very funny because it seems like a very simple pose, but it's a great balancing pose. Bringing our right foot in front of our left so that our heel touches our toes. And then looking straight ahead, taking your hand off or not, and standing up into Tadasana. And it's not as easy as it feels.
I was going to say, it's not as easy, and it's a great way to balance.
Feel that in your whole leg. And then without looking, take that right leg and bring that toe behind the other foot. And standing tall. And then one more time, bringing that foot in front of the other. And you know, we do things so without thought.
Right.
You know, when you're a little child, you think about this, but as we grow older, we just do. And then bring that leg together, shake that leg out, because you can really feel that in that
Surprising.
exercise.
It's a great balance exercise.
Yes.
Really lovely.
So now bringing the left foot in front of the right. And it might be easier on one side.
Right. And it feels a little easy on this side because I know what to expect.
And then we can bring that leg behind, looking straight ahead. And it's always good to know that the chair is there. And then one more time, bringing the foot in front and standing tall, looking straight ahead. I usually say, don't look at someone else.
Right. Look at something that doesn't move, maybe.
And bringing that leg back. And then standing in front of the chair, we'll just do one more standing exercise, bringing the right leg out and in, inhaling out and in. And again, you can hold on with one hand or no hands. And the next time the leg comes out, bring it into circles. And go in the opposite circle. Feeling that in the standing leg. And then bring that leg back. And now bring your left leg out, inhaling and exhaling. And you may do the whole, you know, everyone has a different dance breath. So I give, I might mention when to inhale or exhale, but you do what's necessary for you. And then when the leg comes out, circle in one direction. Again, you can hold on with one hand or no hands, or both hands, and then go in the opposite direction. Oops. And then bring that leg back and shake that leg out a little bit. And then
I didn't realize this could you could feel it so much.
Yes, and then I usually will let my legs go back and forth before sitting down. Start small and then kick up a little bit higher.
Hey, our beautiful crew, you guys should get some of these stretches in.
Like the Rockettes we are.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back into our seated pose. And we'll come into our chair pose like we did our chair without using our hands. So we'll stand in front and knowing that that chair is behind you, feeling it, and reaching your arms up and bringing your buttocks into the chair and sitting down. So let's bring our right ankle over our left knee, and we'll press away on the right thigh. Press away on the right thigh a little bit. And then bring your hands over. Well, you can stay here, or if you like a little more of a stretch, let your arms come in front and just relax over your leg.
Give it a shot, but my 12 pack's in the way.
And then slowly come back up and bring that leg down. And if that's too much, you can always cross your leg, bringing the ankle over the other, pressing the thigh away. And you can stay here. This is perfectly fine. But really give that thigh a pressing, pushing it away. And then you can stay here, or you can bring your arms over for a little more of a stretch. And then slowly coming back up and bringing that foot back down and shaking that out.
You made a beautiful observation, Susan. You said one side of the body may feel it
A little
easy,
different.
right? Yeah.
And I used to think that you should always do the same on each side, but I don't feel that way anymore. So we'll reach our arms up and exhale to the right for a little twist before we come to the end of this session. And then inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling to the other side, and reaching up, and bringing the arms down, and bringing our hands together at our heart center, closing our eyes, inhaling and exhaling. And namaste. Thank
Susan
you.
McNamara. Reach out to Susan. She has a website. Her credits have been coming up as well. I also would like to say thanks to our amazing crew. Thank you so much. Antonio, Lizette, Miguel, and Nicole. Thank you so much for staying with us, for hanging in there, putting up with us. Me, especially. Thank you so much. So, Susan, that was an amazing workout. I felt so good. There are certain muscle groups